Dear friends, today we have come to you with the latest episode. There is no doubt that when you finish listening to the story I have brought today, your brain will be a little haunted. Friends, if you say that the brain becomes a little dull, if you take it as a correct mystery, this is the biggest mystery in the world. Now, there were mysteries. Either they have been solved, and now, if you take something like the Bermuda Triangle, it has now been solved. Many other mysteries can be scientifically explained, but friends, if you take the mystery that I will talk about today, the science has tried to solve this mystery. Philosophy has tried, religions have been attempting, art has tried, and literature has tried. But many of them still haven't been able to solve this mystery properly. Friends, what is this mystery? I ask you two questions. First, ask one question. Who am I? Dear friends, I am asking you who you are, and you have to answer. If I ask you who you are and what your identity is, many people will get their wallet quickly and take their identity card or driver's license. We ask that you provide any ID that can prove your identity. Some other ID cards will be given. It is also a kind of identity. It is an individuality. It means that we are different from other people. The government has given us an identity card. You are X, you are Y, you are Z. It is an identity. But friends, as we all know, this is not an identity card. If I ask you who you are, you will say your identity as follows. 25 years old, male. I am currently working. I am studying in this university. I like to eat pizza. I am a bit sensitive. My favorite color is blue. Scientists define this as individual identity or single identity. But friends, scientists researched your identity in another way to search. This is social identity. Does that mean you can determine who you are by looking at who you hang out with? When you look at your friends, if they are heavy on fun and often go on trips, then we can think that you are just a bit of a fun-loving person and a character like that. If your friends are interested in studying and looking for knowledge, you are also similar to them. And if your friends do just meditate and often go to church or temple, you can be judged by looking at your friends and saying, you are also the same as your friends. We can also think that you are a bit interested in spirituality. So, friends, this is called social identity. And this is the social identity and the individuality of a person. Now friends, let's keep this aside for a bit, and then I will ask you another question. What is memory? You will raise your hand and answer like this. Memory is the ability to recall things that happened in the past. Research about memory goes back a long way. In the 1880s, memory scientists said that through the research of scientists like Hermann M. House, this can be divided into parts as sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Friends, as the short-term memory sensory memory is quickly forgotten, it is usually called memory to our long-term memory. We think we can remember anything that happened in our past. As an example, let us remind you of a meal we had last weekend. We can easily remember it. We can take it back from our memory and talk about it. Then think about the day you first went to school, the day you graduated from primary school, the day you passed high school, the day you started your first job, the day you went to university, and the day you met your girlfriend. We are thinking that we can take them one by one, or as packages to this moment, like we are taking them from a warehouse and opening it whenever we need them as they are. We have got this type of view on this. We talked about memory and we talked about identity. But a professor in America, Professor Charan Ranganath of the University of California, is a world-renowned professor. He is not just a professor. He is one of the world's top researchers in neuroscience and psychology. He says that there is a connection between memory and identity. Dear friends, I told you earlier that your brain is haunted after this story is over. This professor says that memory is not something like the kind of package we think. He says that memory is not only a past event. The incident keeps updating and reinterpreting the memory, as well as it keeps adding imagination. Friends, let me give you an example. You have a boyfriend or girlfriend. The relationship between the two will break up one day. After breaking up, you come either crying or angry, and then you hug your friends and hug your shoulder and cry, and then you go home. After about a week, you think there is nothing I could do. That is the best decision I made. I had nothing else to do. Now you think about an incident that happened in the past. It's been about 3 months now. After about 3 months, when you think back on that old love affair, you think that I was a little too hasty because I should have given a little more chance to him or her. After that, it's been about 6 months now. And after about 6 months, the emotions have been a little low for a while now. You think this type of mistake can be done even by my side, and I should have been a little more patient. I should have worked a little more carefully. After thinking about it for 6 months, it is now almost a year, and now imaginable things have been added to this. Now what if my partner was with me? How happy could we be? This is only my jealousy, nothing else here. Now you think that this relationship ended solely because of my jealousy? Friends, now you can see how your memory has changed from 3 to 6 months to 6 to 12 months. You think that you remember the event of losing that girlfriend or boyfriend, but it's not the same that you remember in 3 months and the one you remember in 6 months. It is not the same you remember in 6 months as the one you remember in 12 months. Friends, look at this. More things are added to it, and you always have to give a new interpretation to that old story. First, think about her or his mistake, and then, I should have been a little more patient. After that, it's not a big deal. The impatience was there, and then at the end, I blamed myself and thought that this was nothing but my jealousy. Then do you see that memory is not a permanent or unchanging thing like a package? It is something that changes from time to time. Now, friends, we talked about identity and memory. Professor Ranganath says that your identity is made out of your memory. This is the thing for which we are haunted. The professor says that your memory and your identity are intertwined together. How does this happen? Now, we talked about memory as something that always interprets the past. Friends, you know that the world keeps changing all the time. The climate, political situation, economy, everything is changing always. And also called environment volatile. Friends, in this changing world, the memory gives us an illusion. This illusion is called the illusion of stability. Friends, think about this. Now that the world is changing, our lives are also changing. Even though we have changed, our memories always reminded us. You had an old girlfriend. You had an old boyfriend. He broke up last year. You two broke up because of this reason and that reason from time to time. And the memory reminds you that there is someone called me. So, who has been lovers? It is me and the other girl or boy. And who has been broken up, me and the other girl or boy? When did it happen? Last year. Who was sad then? I felt sad. Whose fault is this? Her or his fault? Who was hurt the most? I was hurt the most. Who is alone now? Me. Who should have tolerated it? Me. Whose mistake at the end of the year? Mine. My friends, do you understand now? Always the memory gives us an identity like I, me, mine, myself, etc. This is not something that is inside us like a package. Likewise, memory creates an identity for us by reminding old incidents over and over again, taking those old incidents into memory and giving new interpretations to them again and again. That's what I told you. Now, when I first asked you, what is your identity? What is your personality? What is your personality? What is your identity? You said. This is the color I like. I like to eat these things. I like this person. I go to this school and I do this job. You think our identity is there like this, or it is on your identity card or driver's license. Friends, Professor Ranganath says your identity is in your memory. Not completely in memory. It is combined with the identity. And these, both memory and identity, together move forward like fluid. So, friends, your identity is changing always, and the memory helps with the change. And both memory and identity are not permanent. Then for so long, we thought that there was a person inside us called me. I live like this, eat like this, drink like this, and walk like this. I feel so sorry and sad. Friends, we don't have a big identity, no big personality. Our identity is created by reinterpreting and reinterpreting these old incidents. If you understood what I said, your brain would be haunted. Then when we look in front of the mirror, we have our physical bodies. It's true, we thought that there was something like our soul inside. Otherwise, there is someone called me. Professor says that there is no me, as strict as you think, but there is a me who is always changing and deforming. This is our story today. Friends, after this, think about who I am and don't think too much and go into an identity crisis. Thanks.